I want to also introduce onto our show Harshika Poonacha and Chetan Kumar, who are both young actors on this very, very tragic and sad day. Thank you for your time, Chetan and Harshika. I've got no words. I can only imagine the shock that so many people are feeling, and especially people like you. This was someone who was known to you, part of your industry, well regarded, well loved. Someone who was literally famous for health and fitness. A guy who became even more popular during the pandemic because of his, all his gym and fitness videos. Harshika, your memories of young Puneet, and tell us how you will remember him. It's so sad that I should be asking this question, but that's where we are today.
Yes, sir. I mean, till the last minute, till the news came out, I kept praying that this news is a false news, and this, turns out to be like, he's just a little unwell and he's gonna get back home. That's the news I was waiting to hear, but then it's out now. He's no more. I mean, I'm still unable to digest the fact that Apu sir is no more, because like you mentioned, he's someone who always took care of his health, his fitness. He was an amazing dancer. I have to say, the best dancer our industry had. And fitness wise, he wouldn't touch sweet. I've worked in 2 films with Apu sir. I mean, I'm so I'm so grateful that I got an honor to work with him. I've done 2 films, and both the films I still remember. There have been times when Apu sir, he used to never use the vanity van. For him, vanity van would just come and be parked in the location. He would make sure that the female artists are fine and they are taken care. I still remember, like I was in the location, I was sitting in the spot, and he said, "Why don't you go to the vanity?" I said, "Sir, it's okay." He said, No, go to my vanity. I have a lot of food also in there. You can go have." I mean, I don't know why God is being so unkind, because he was such a gem of a person, very humble, very, very, very nice. I'm very sure everyone would agree with me. Even if you've met him once, he would be so nice, so humble, so down to earth. I mean, I don't think we will ever get an actor like Apu sir. Again, I don't know. I'm out of words. I just want him to rest in peace. And I really wish this was a false news. I really wish he was with us today, because we will all miss him, sir. We will miss him.
Harshika, you use the word humble, and I feel your emotions. I really do feel your emotions as well, because everyone I've spoken to has used that word humble. Despite his incredible lineage, his background, the superstar family that he came from, and this popularity that he himself enjoyed, he was always very down to earth. And I love that story about the vanity van and how humble he was.
Yes. He never showed off. He never said, he would never show that. He was never like, "I'm Rajkumar's son, I'm supposed to be in a certain way." Never. I still remember we went for an event together, and he's a superstar. I mean, I was just a newcomer. I was just 2 films down, and he was a superstar. He had a lot of bouncers, and he had a lot of people with him. So the minute he came, the people surround him and mobbed him, and then he had these huge bouncers who like literally took him inside, and then he asked the people, like, "Where is Harshika?" Because I was behind and I couldn't enter because there were so many people. And I still remember Apu sir came all the way. He came outside, he held my hand and he took me inside. So these are something which he's a superstar for his character. Films, his performance, he's outstanding, but then in real, he's a superstar in real, because he's such a wonderful personality. And I don't think I will ever, and I played his sister in Jackie. I've tied Rakhi to him. I don't think I'll ever get a brother like him in my real life, because I don't know, he was someone who had everything in his life, who was born with a silver spoon, but never ever showed that attitude. He was so nice to everybody. Even if there were 100 people coming to the set to take pictures with him, he would pose to each and everybody. He would give pictures to everybody in the set of Jackie. And I would say, "Sir, how do you have so much patience? How can you treat everyone so equally?" He said, "This is one life, Harshika. We don't know how we are going to be born in next life. So this is how, you're supposed to treat people. Be nice. We don't know when we are going to go." And,
Yeah.
so happened that he left us today. I mean,
A really
yeah.
incredibly tragic day. Chetan, your thoughts today on this really sad day. And like Harshika said, there is so much disbelief. People are still coming to terms with this.
Apu sir was not just a friend, he was a very good friend. I joined the industry in 2007 and I became close to him from that point onwards. And to be honest with you, my relationship goes back decades before when I was growing up in America. And I would do the performance of Hiranyakashipu Prahlada, which was Apu sir's one of his early films, and he won the national award. He was a 5-year-old child doing Prahlada. And I would do Prahlada in America. And they would call me Prahlada. And when I joined the industry, somebody told Apu sir that Apu sir, he did your roles, and they called him Prahlada. And he mentioned that to me a couple years back, and that thrilled me so much. And anytime, and there's, as Harshika mentioned, there was so much warmth, so much goodness, so much just humility, and there's always a smile on his face. And he took everything in stride. There was no ideas of superiority in any way. And even during the Corona time, when it was so difficult in Karnataka, he gave over 50 lakhs to the government. And he actually, what is really touching is he pledged his eyes.
Yes.
And they came and took his eyes. So he pledged his eyes before I was dying. And that is something that even after his death, he wanted to give back to society. And he wouldn't take any money for the songs that he sung. He would give it to his social organizations. And even if you see the kind of films, all the films he did had a family message. And I would be like, I remember Apu sir told me, I said, the thing about Apu sir and me is like, I remember the first time it was 2008-9, and there was this event called Amrita Mahotsava. I had just joined the industry, and Apu sir was already a big superstar, and he had to go dance, and there was all of us sitting there, and he had his phone, and he had to give somebody their phone, and he looked all around, and then he looked at me, and he came and he gave me the phone. And from then on, I was like, oh, he trusts me, and I trusted him, and anytime I had a problem, I would go to him. And one of my first fights was the endosulfan fight, which is a pesticide in the Mangalore area.
Yes.
And when that happened, I went to Apu sir. I was like, Apu sir, I need your guidance. How should I take this forward? He's like, Chetan, anytime I could be there to help out, I will help out. I will be there with you in this fight. He supported me in that fight. And any issue in the industry, he stood out. And even when he started producing films, he produced it for newcomers. He produced it for newcomers. He produced content-oriented films. He wanted the industry to grow. It wasn't about producing films that made him a big shot, that made him a bigger star, that gave him heroism. He was interested in content. And he did a lot of films with a lot of newcomers. And that's the kind of idea. And he continued the kind of good content-based,
incredible,
quality, family-oriented cinemas that his father would do, Rajkumar. So it's a huge, devastating loss for not just the film industry, for Karnataka, for the film industry across the nation. And it's something that we can't get over. We have to, I mean, I worked out with him. I would do yoga with him, in the gym with him, and he would call me out in the gym. He'd be like, Chetan, and there was so much happiness and joy when he saw me, and it would just bring me so much joy. And I was very lucky to have gotten to know him. I have very few friends in the industry, and he was one of a very good friend. And he came to my marriage and spoke and liked Kannada. And even though he was like, he liked the things I did, which was, it didn't benefit him to like my things, my activism and my social work. I mean, he's the big superstar. Why should he be friends with me or like me? But it wasn't a transactional relationship. It was a meaningful relationship that he admired the stuff we did. And that showed what type of character he has. So I really, I mean, we're all hurt. And as Harshika says, we've lost somebody, a big brother. We've lost a family member. We've lost somebody that we all looked up to. And we must continue making quality cinema and living in that goals of making a better industry that Apu sir always believed in.
Keeping his legacy alive. And I know, Harshika and Chetan, that grief is a very private emotion. So I would especially like to thank the both of you for sharing it with us here, because it means a lot to Puneeth's fans and his family. It also means a lot to your fans, because you know, the both of you are in the industry, and your fans would would very much value hearing from the both of you. So my condolences to the both of you, since you knew Puneeth so well personally, and thank you for giving us your time, and thank you for sharing your emotions with us. We share them as well. Thank you very much, Harshika and Chetan, for that.